Thank you. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for making time to be with us, today. And I think many of us have joined at short notice, but it's amazing to just see that, there are a few of us who are so keen to make time in the middle of the day, join. So thank you. Today we have with us a panel of course, like a Vedica program team member. So I would like to welcome Kunal, and Kunal takes care of strategy of admissions and marketing. And of course, Kunal will also speak with us about the program during the webinar. And we have with us the star of today's webinar, that's Mayuri. Mayuri is a founding batch member and also a scholar. And Mayuri also is currently a trust and safety strategist at Google. So welcome both of you, and welcome all our participants. Yeah. So is it okay for all of us to start now? Kunal, are we good?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. We also have Imna Jungla. Okay, hi, thank you very much for joining. So to begin, can I request Mayuri to share with us, about her journey at Vedica? Mayuri, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ananya. That's a very kind introduction. I think it's been 6 years that I've completed my Vedica journey and courses, and it still feels like it was yesterday. And Ananya, is this something like I kind of cover like right now, or it's you want a short introduction? How does it happen?
Absolutely. Please do share, your journey, and then we can just go into the live Q&A.
Got it. So I'll start a little early so that you have a context of where I came from and why I joined Vedica. Uh, as a kid, I was somebody who was very studious, and I was very good at my academics. And I don't know how many of you will relate to it, but it is a kind of thing which which is pumped into children that you should be proud of if you are good into academics. And I was this proud kid who kept doing well in the school. And we have this something called as board exams in Maharashtra in our 10th board, and there is a merit list of students which is released, and all the students who are good in academics, want to get into the list. I was wanting, obviously, I desired to be in that list, being somebody who's good in academics. And I because of a lot of hard work and something which I was really trained to do, I was able to land. And as you can see, my pride increased, my arrogance increased with it, and it increased to a point where it was my time to humble down, right? And I did. I had a series of failures. I was not able to do that well in my 11th and 12th. I barely made it to one of the prestigious colleges because I had lost all hopes, and I gave that exam thinking like, what worse can happen? I'm not landing into a college which is so called, respected across, because everybody did engineering. I did engineering. I did not think of why I was not good at maths. Inherently, I thought listen, every student who's good at academics by default is good at maths, and it would really have hurt my pride to accept that I was not somebody who was created for engineering. So that is how I landed in some a college called as Pilani. People know it as one of the best colleges, and to me, it was very important, given the fact that I was grown up. I was grown into this person who had to perform well, and that I was not supposed to fail at any point of time, and that built a different pressure, and that built a different kind of insecurity within me. That how is it that I cannot be good at something? I have to prove every time. I didn't fare very well in my BITS Pilani academics. I barely managed to pass. I barely managed to get a job, and I continued a very ordinary life, which I thought that I would not, because I was great at academics. In my head, I was supposed to be doing fabulous things, which I was not inherently. I worked for almost 3 years after BITS Pilani. And I because I came from this engineering background and math background, I studied with the best people. I was good at some things, not because I liked it and I really poured a lot of heart. The system made me good at certain things. So I just realized that I was really losing my track. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was told to be good in academics. I was good in academics. So I was
the recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
So everything what I was something which was externally induced. I never got time to look at myself, what I wanted to do, what I liked, what I really wanted to invest in, how I wanted my life to be. So this is where I decided that I needed another set of, I needed some time to myself and some education to really sit down and reflect back and hone the skills which I really am interested in, I really want to do. And that is where I came across Vedica. And I was very, very bought into the idea of the fact that women really need to become independent financially, emotionally, physically, psychologically. And that is something which I thought I was not, despite of being somebody who was told that, you're doing great. You are somebody who's supposed to shine, you are somebody who's supposed to land onto big things. I did not feel any of it. And this is where I decided that I want to do something which I truly believe in. And as you can go, the traditional wisdom with all my peers who came from these, celebrity colleges told me that, hey, you should go to ISB. You can land into ISB, you can land into IM. Why don't you go to London Business School? And I was just told that this is not the right path for me. And I had bought into this traditional wisdom back then when I went to Pilani. And it's a fabulous college. The only thing why I survived there was because it gave me the independence to be what I am. Was I cut out for the academics? Maybe not. Maybe it was not the best thing, which, I should have studied in terms of gaining certain skill sets or knowledge. But it was the best set of peer groups. It was the best community. It was the best environment for any teenager to grow. So this time I decided I really want to learn and hone the skills. And that is where I came across Vedica. And I decided that against all the standard knowledge and traditional understanding of what MBA courses are, I picked it up because everything which was written on the page, every time I talked to the program members, I thought this is exactly what I'm going through. And this is exactly what I should be doing. And that belief which was set within me right from the first day, I carried it till the last day I graduated from Vedica. And I think that is something which I am really proud of. And that is something which I felt that which came really, really, naturally to me. And despite of the fact that it was a new course, it took a lot from us to settle it down. It was not easy. These were the subjects I had never studied. Now, traditionally, if you think of it, I was not doing great in the subjects which were supposed to be also, but this was even more difficult given that there were kind of, liberal arts subjects which I was never exposed to, being a very crude, coming from a very crude background of mathematics. So from there to learning photography, to learning meditation, to learning economics, to learning all the basic courses of management, focusing on self-development, focusing on communication, which are so neglected in a lot of today's, courses. I really felt that everything I did in Vedica, I imbibed it completely. Uh, I am somebody who was not very good. I was not somebody who was very good at communication. I don't think I'm still one of the best out there, but I have improved significantly. We did a lot of writing. It was tremendously difficult to write papers which were 6,000 words. I never knew how to, do so many words in one go in one paper on topics like thinking about thinking, psychology, philosophy. It was beyond me. These were not subjects which I had ever encountered, but I decided that I'm going to give it a shot because I decided that I want to be true to what the program is wanting me to do. Just had that faith going on all through that, there is something which they have, which I should take. I may not see the direct relation to what I would like to do or who I am right now, but it will percolate someday and it will make me the person who I want to be. So I kept going through this and I was very dedicated in terms of my classrooms, how I wanted to listen to the professors, how I wanted to engage with the guest speakers. I really liked being in Vedica. I liked everything about what they thought, what they believed in, and what they wanted us to do. There was a lot of hands-on experience. We went to Kesla and we lived a life which we would not have and may not get to experience any other time. Uh, we had dedicated mentors. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to really have those set of mentors guiding me even today in my life. It was not one, it was not two. I think we should at least 4 people who have guided me whom I have encountered in Vedica and thought that their mentorship would really, help me grow. I still continue to talk to them, be in touch with them. We had this program of shadowing the CEO leader, and it was one of the most eye-opening things which I saw. Even though I had a bit of work experience of 3 years, I still had a lot to learn when I went to the Shadow CEO program, because it was very eye-opening to see women at that position, the kind of challenges that they dealt with, and how difficult their life was on a day-to-day basis. And if you want to be something like that, you have to be able to deal with something like that. So this was all a part of my learning at Vedica. And something which I feel is not discussed heavily is the peer group which we have, a set of women to really fall back on, a set of women who understand, who have exactly the same issues. And you will be surprised how all of you have gone through the same kind of things at some point of your life. That brings the camaraderie, that brings relativity, and that makes you, feel that you are as human as anybody can be. It's not just about getting one degree after the other, getting one paycheck after the other, and living a life where you cannot reflect back, where you cannot live, and where you cannot sit back and say that I'm doing something good, I'm feeling nice about whatever I'm able to contribute. So this is something which I learned at Vedica. And right now I'm working at Google. I got this job while I was interviewing Google at Vedica. It was again a kind of company I never imagined to be with, because I was not somebody who was inherently very good at tech, uh, and not something which came to me intuitively. But I decided to give the interview and I was selected, and I still happen to work in the same role which I have been since past 5 years. So it's been not it's not been easy, because again you come into a place where everybody is far above the average. Everybody is, hitting it out of the park. Everybody is doing the best they could do. But like I said, I was already taught humility when long time back. So I realized that, uh, I'm not the best. I will never be the best. And maybe this feeling, maybe this realization will make me better every day. And that is what I still continue to tell myself and learn that, okay, I'm ready to fail now. What is it that I got to learn? And I don't I don't necessarily be too hard on myself, but it's important that you realize that you've made mistakes, and that you are going to make mistakes even in future, and that you're not going to be perfect, and you're not going to be someone who's always regarded and respected for whatever they do. That's life. I decided to live with it. Few things I think I thought I'll share with you, which are learnings which I had from Vedica, and these were very very prominent learnings. I have learned a lot, but I thought few of them I should share with you. One was that you know uh, paychecks help us live a life, fulfill our needs, but we should not live for paychecks. Not what life should be. Life is much more than that. You have to engage. You have friends, you have family, you have dreams, you have activities you want to do. This is what life is about. So I understand the fact that you want to earn money so that you feel comfortable, you feel independent, and you are able to voice your own, uh, have your own voice in your life. But paycheck is one part of it. Paycheck is not your life. The second thing I thought is that, and this is like I said, this was something which was a very important learning, and it happened at the right time for me, is that you can be assertive, you can be stable, you can be sorted. That doesn't mean that you have to be arrogant, you have to be brash, and you have to be non-receptive. There is a difference. Sometimes it's very thin, but you have to start understanding that, so that you are able to conduct yourself gracefully. That's where you can say that you are going for a long-term career, you are going for a long-term success, family, maturity, and that is what you should aim at. The third thing I think, and I don't know how to stress this enough, is that everybody needs a mentor. You will not know how to live life, how to deal with situations. No matter how good you become, no matter how old you become, you will need a mentor to tell you what is it that you can do, what is it that you look at, what is it that you should consider while making decisions, and who is it that you should be at the end of the day, giving you choices about your conduct, your thought processes, and your way of life. And everybody who wants to join Vedica or who doesn't want to join Vedica. I don't see a reason why you should not have a mentor. I am what I am because of Vedica and the set of mentors I carry even till today. So this is this is what I am. I'm being made by a set of people on a very regular basis, and I'm an outcome of that. And something which I think a lot of people who want to go to higher education do not realize is that, higher education is not going to make things easy. Life is not going to be easy. You will study, you will work, you will get married, you will travel, you will have, a lot of problems to deal with. No amount of money you spend on a higher education program is going to buy ease in your life, right? Life is generally difficult in the kind of situations we live. But it's up to you how what you make out of it. People have a lot of fun. People make sure that they are really enjoying life. Even after that, people are really involved. And there are people who have everything, but they still continue to crib. They still continue to, complain. So it's you decide what your life is going to be. But are things going to be coming to you on a platter? No. Everybody works hard. This is a place to explore yourself. Vedic is a place to, really truly realize what is it that you want out of your life, what is it that you want to do, how is it that you want to conduct. And this is a program to teach you how to live, not just, to get your job and make you feel that yes, you have achieved something. Of course, that is going to happen. All of you are going to make a lot of money. Please don't have any doubts about that. I don't see a reason why not. You are already here. You are already investing in something called as, I want to do something about myself. This is something I'm going to really, uh, it's the time to invest. I think there needs to be a change in my life. So that thought process that has kicked in, I don't see a reason why you will not be successful. But that's not all, right? How you actually reach the success, how you're actually, uh, conducting yourself, how you're being perceived, how you are, feeling good about yourself is going to make a lot of difference. So that is where I feel uh, Vedika comes in as a holistic education program. And this is what I have learned of Vedic out of Vedika. And of course, there are things which I keep learning on my job day-to-day basis. It's very much related to my job. It's very much related to people management. All of you are going to do that heavily as you progress in your career. It's going to be on the job learning. It is going to be on the program learning. But somewhere in the back of the mind, always keep reminding yourself that you are made for to do good things. You are made to contribute to society. You have that ability and intelligence to do that. So somewhere, if that gives you satisfaction, somewhere if you feel that uh, you need to make something out of your life which is just not for you but something you want to contribute, something you want to do it through your intelligence, through your intent, Vedika is the place for you. So yeah, that's about me. It's a long one,
Thanks
but
so much. Thanks so much, Mayuri, for really sharing from your life and heart. If it's okay, before we like jump into the Q&A session, and meanwhile, can I also request all of our participants to quickly put their questions down in our chat box, yeah, which we can take on after this. But Mayuri, could you spend 2 minutes telling us that in the current context, like job market has been very, very uncertain, and given that how education in a way has moved to the online medium, in such a space, could you talk to us about how do you think doing a Vedika program, yeah, has helped you even in the current context? And for a scholar who would do the program now, how would they really benefit?
right. So I understand, the job market is unstable and these fluctuations will happen. What I feel is that somebody who's good in terms of skill set, good in terms of communication, who knows that what is it that they would bring to the table would always have jobs. Shortage of jobs occurs. There is never a time when there is no jobs. So you have to be amongst the set of people who are, who should be hired, who everybody wants to hire. And that is where I think Vedika differentiates heavily. They prepare you for all kinds of fields, all kinds of industries, all kinds of jobs. These are the skill sets which are very grounding and very fundamental to any kind of work anybody wants to invest in. Whether you want to do a startup, whether you want to join a management firm, whether you want to join a financial sector, whether it's education or anything, I think Vedika is very grounding, and you should be able to build up on any type of career you want to through Vedica, because the courses and the education is such that it supports all kinds of future dreams about your career.
Great. Wow. Thanks so much for sharing. Mayuri, we will now, open the forum for the questions we have and we have also received. Kunal, I request you to please introduce the questions and, Mayuri can take them on.
Sure. So, I do have a set of questions, but I think we'll give some priority to our attendees here since they're investing their time. There are a lot of questions coming up, especially in the Q&A section, but I'll take the one from Imna Jungla first since she put it on the chat. She wants to know, Mayuri, what skills do you wish you had learned before joining Vedica?
I think if you are going to join Vedica, what you should learn is how to unlearn. It's very important that you have a lot of free time, good time, enjoy, meet friends. Vedica is going to be hectic. You will have to work hard. You will have to be present. You are trying to change very fundamental things about you in 1.5 years. So it's going to be hard. Okay. I do not suggest anybody to do anything before Vedica. I did not do anything. I had a break of 1 month. I wish I had a longer break. And I think you should take a long break before you join Vedica, because Vedica would really love if you're energized and ready to give all in those 18 months and bring the best out of yourself in that course. So I don't think you need to learn anything before joining Vedica.
Beautifully said, Mayuri. I hope that answers your question, Imna Jungla. She has one more question. She says, what were your challenges you faced in Vedica during your course? And how did you also overcome them? That will also benefit us to know.
Many challenges. I've never been in a part of a co-ed, same-sex education before. I was always a part of co-ed education. As a result, I kind of and the kind of jobs I worked, we had a lot of men there. So I started relating more to what they think, how they behave, than what I was inherently, and that was a very drastic change when I was, I lived with a set of 20 women who had a very different way of working, who had a very different way of thinking, and somewhere I realized I had dropped that, in my head once I started working in sectors which were, majoritarily dominated by men, or just by the factor of that, you have more men working in these sectors. I was more inclined towards behaving like them than behaving my inherent self. That was very difficult. Coursework is difficult. I would suggest that we pay attention. You don't have to really top every exam or get the best marks, but understand the essence of what someone or in some course is trying to teach you. It has a lot more value than you can see it at that point of time. And after 5-6 years of graduating out of Vedica, I can still see the value. So just be present, just involve. It's not easy what I'm asking. It seems like a simple thing, but even doing that, even if you do it like for a good number of courses, I'm not saying all, because you necessarily don't like everything, but I try to involve even in those courses which I did not like, and I can't tell you how beneficial it was for me at the end of the day. So coursework is difficult, group work is difficult, and all these things will teach you a lot of things. All these things will give you a lot, the essence of how you would work in a corporate setting or in a setting where you have to interact with a lot of people.
Thanks, Mayuri, for your 2 bits. Imna Jungla, I hope that has answered to both 2 of your questions. Do let us know in the chat if there's something more you want Mayuri to expand on. I will move on to the Q&A part. We have around 4 or 5 questions there. We have an anonymous attendee asking us, does the Vedica program hold you at a disadvantage given that it is not accredited when you decide to change jobs? This is a question we get a lot, and I guess an alum would be great to answer this.
I myself have not changed jobs after Vedica, so I am maybe talking on the behalf of some of my folks who have changed jobs. Not at all. Absolutely not. I think once you get into your first job, the second and the third and the fourth job mainly are decided by what you want to do, what kind of skill set you have, what kind of experiences you have, and what kind of projects you have delivered in your previous jobs. Education is something which will help you, get the first step into the gate of a company, because at that point of time companies do not have anything else on the basis of which they will judge you, right? They want to see, are you coming from a good program? Do you have good coursework? Do you have good learnings? Do you have a good attitude? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to interact? Are you willing to improve? But once that is set in, the second and the third job are something which you will extract basis of your skill set and what you want to do. So I don't think it impedes in any way, because I've seen many girls in my batch changing jobs and landing into better and better position every single time. So I don't see that as an impediment.
Yeah, and this comes from one of the members of a founding batch. And so far, our Vedica Scholars has made a big name amongst all recruiters, and we have big recruiters even still coming up. We had Nestle, JP Morgan, Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. We've had no issues so far at all regarding the accreditation bit. But technically, maybe to answer why we have the non-accredited course right now is because getting a UGC guideline really limits the way we get this course to you, really takes away from what makes it unique to all our scholars. And we would not want to do that. And we can only see them benefiting so far for the last 7-8 years, 350 plus alums. And currently, when Mayuri started, we used to have 20-30 people every batch. Now we have 115. And we've also been seeing 100% placement. So I guess this question is not going to end till the end of time. But unless the UGC itself changes its guidelines, we'll have to keep answering them. Moving on, I'll move to the next question. Mayuri, if you could tell us what kind of questions you were asked in your interview 5 years ago, if you still remember.
I was asked very, critical thinking questions, which actually, probed my critical thinking as to, if you, I'm sorry, I'm not able to give you the exact questions because it's been too long. Questions such as, if you are, faced with this challenge, what do you think are the reasons that a problem like this is coming up in a product like this? So I kept, I took a moment back. I had like a nice breather to think about it. I jotted down the answer and I gave that answer. And the interview again asked me, can you think more? And I was very receptive at that time, and I realized that there is something more which I should think about, and I kept digging inside myself to get some important points which he was expecting me to do. And these are a lot more technical questions: how I was able to code, how I was able to do data analysis, because some of my previous experience did base on that, and I was able to answer them. And a lot of them also, a lot of these questions also wanted to understand what kind of a person I would be in a setting where a lot of people collaborate. Would I be able to adjust? Would I be able to manage with different, working styles, different types of thought processes, which is very important in a company like Google, because there is no single person delivering, big projects. It's always a team. It's always a large set of people trying to do, dream big and deliver big. So I think they also test for how good you are as somebody who will work with different kinds of teams in different kind of time zones, in different kind of requests and priorities. How would you behave? So that's how my interviews generally were structured.
So you must have sat through a few more interviews just in your life, I guess, after that. Would you like to tell us about what your overall feeling was after you gave the interview at Vedica? Did you think you'll get in, you'll not get in?
So that's the good part, right, Kunal? I never pressured myself
Okay.
into saying that something I have to crack. I was, and now that I think about it, I think I will not be able to be in the same zone, because it was just very fresh that I was out of Vedica. I was very secured with myself that, listen, I have to do good. Whether something happens or not, it's really up to them. And that is how I approach all the interviews. It's, of course, it's unnerving when you don't know how you will survive, or if you don't have a job. But after Vedica, I was very secure about the fact that, I will make money for myself. I think it's time to think, what is it that I'd like to do? What is it that matters to me in a job? I really focused on having a great manager, because, like I said, having a manager who can mentor you, who understands your strength, who develops them, who teaches you things which you will otherwise not focus on. Those are the things I thought I was looking at, and that mature approach of securing a job in that way came to me after I graduated through Vedica.
That's great. Great to hear that. Moving on, I guess something from your experience at Vedica, this one wants to know what's your favorite memory? I'm sure it's I see most scholars get stressed out when I ask them favorite memory, favorite course, because they don't want to pinpoint it, but say you have to really, really choose one favorite memory from your time at Vedica, what would it be?
I can tell you about my favorite course, and like I can tell you about a couple of memories which really stay with me. And my favorite course was by V. Chandrasekhar, about Mind of a Leader, where he talked about, and I still remember some of the things and I still practice them. He talked about how do you actually train your mind to do what you would like it to do. It's pretty much within your control. He made us do some very quirky things like write with your left hand, play a music instrument. It really massages your head and makes it very flexible. And that is something I feel that everybody should know, because it's very often that you hear people say that after 30s your learning kind of slows down exponentially. After 40s you will just be able to do what you had to you have learned so far, and you will not be able to pick up new skills. But that course taught us how to make sure that you still keep your mind fresh and agile to learn. So that was one of my favorite courses. My favorite memories are many. I think we had like a founders day, which was a great set of fun events which we did. We performed, we celebrated, and we interacted with a lot of senior leaders and a lot of folks who had really come to see how Vedic had flourished. And I think that still remains as one of the big celebrations in my head. All the lunches and dinners we had with our deans still remain fresh in my head. These are favorite memories. Of course, there are courses and there are certain successes which do make it to the list. But I think the ones where we interacted with different scholars, we had a very close set of bonding events. Those remain with me, and those are the ones which I really recreate in my head to feel what it was like at Vedica.
That's fine. That is refreshing. I get to ask so many scholars all the time, and I really like hearing your own views on it. I'll move on. Uh, I guess we did answer this, but the question is, does the Vedica program hold you at a disadvantage in future when the person wants to have a job change? I'm going to leave that at no. And if you want to know more about this, please write to me. I'll just quickly write my email ID in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to us. We can have proper counseling sessions as well, where you can ask about your own career trajectory. It need not be Vedica, but just in general. If you're really interested in knowing and if you're very confused, please reach out to us. Did you consider doing another master's or an MBA after Vedica?
I did not actually. Not that I am not open to learn, but I did not come across something which would really, I would want to pick up, and give a break to what I'm working on. What I'm working on is extremely interesting. It really energizes me to solve the kind of problems I'm solving, and I think that is what I want to continue to do. Maybe after some time, I will want to pick up on some exec education, which will enhance me. But I know two of my batchmates. I think. One I know for sure, no, two of them who have gone for higher educations even after Vedica and have done fabulously well. So in case you want to, connect with them and understand what was their motivation and how did they do it, you can talk to them as well.
Yeah, more on that is that we have collaborations with one college right now, LCBS, Leicester Castle Business School. Basically, we have a MOU with them wherein you can transfer your credits you've done at Vedica, do a 6-month course, and get a global MBA degree. And recently, they've also opened up the opportunity for Vedica scholars to do other courses as masters over there as well. We had one of our alums do MSc in masters in science in one of the courses which was not MBA related. So the options are many, and we all also have one more upcoming collaboration with a university from outside, which we can't speak more about, but it's going to be exciting when news drops.
Yay.
Is there scope for international placement, or does this program hold the weightage if the person wants to apply out of India in future? Mayuri, if you know of some of your batchmates or someone else, someone who's had to apply offshore and has faced any issues or not?
I know one of my friend who's working in Bill and Melinda Gates, who's in US. So
Hmm.
I don't think there's a problem in applying, and I don't think there's a shortage of skill set. As and when you are trying to apply, the question always comes of visa and work permit.
Yeah.
I think that is where a lot of companies do filter out candidates which are not, and it's think about it, it's easier to hire within the country. So there is no one stopping you, or no one restricting the candidature from India. The problems are with visa and work permit, and with COVID it just becomes even more difficult to secure it, plan the travel, plan the movement. So that is something which I feel is which will hinder. I am moving to the US very soon, so, and like I said, the jobs are available. Visa is something which you have to figure out. I've seen a lot of folks moving out of the country and trying to do education and work. It's possible. It's not a no starter, but like I said, you have to figure out how to get the visa, and how is the company willing to spend that amount of time and effort to make sure that you get the visa and you relocate. Those are the kind of questions which we need to answer.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Mayuri. That actually helps me also answer my future scholars. And when is the deadline for round two of the 2022 admissions? It's on 27th Feb. I would really advise everyone to apply as early as possible. Our admissions have always been on a rolling basis, and they tend to end by May. But the sooner you get it, the more opportune it would be for you. Do we need any reference for admission into Vedica? Not compulsorily. If you have a reference, great. But there is no preference given as such. Say if you have a reference, because that feels a bit unfair to everyone who's applying. Our ethos also is that we prefer potential over any quantitative evaluation of yours. We don't have CAT scores, GMAT scores. We really truly believe that the way we structured our interviews gives a good purview into the kind of scholar you could be. What is your intention towards being a part of the workforce? And I think that more than enough tells for it. Our alums have been showing it to us for the last 7 years. Is the program
7
offline now? 7 years, right?
You're so nice to me. 7 years. Oh my god.
Is the program offline? Yes, it is. But depending on the COVID regulations at the time in Delhi, we have a method of switching into an hybrid mode, and that has also been very successful for us. We were wondering if the quality of the program itself drops, but we have been successfully doing a hybrid session as and when the COVID guidelines become completely strict and doesn't allow educational institutions and scholars to sit at their rooms and not in a socially distanced manner. But we've been able to do that. We've been able to pull it off, and we're probably very, very proud of it. In our hybrid method, what we have is that our faculty comes to our classes, and for those students who are slightly unwell or not feeling up to it, to reach to the classroom because of other preoccupations that are COVID related, they get to attend the classes online, while some of them can also attend it offline. So that I think has been a great method for us. Dhwani Gupta is saying question for Mayuri and I. Sure, go ahead, Dhwani. You want to come on stage? Okay, I'll wait for your answer in the chat. These are all the questions we have received till now. Ananya, do you have any questions for Mayuri?
No, I think this helps us cover what most of our applicants have in mind, and those who are still considering to register. I just wanted to understand, Kunal, is it possible that we have all the participants who joined, can they go live, since we will be concluding the call now? Anyone wants to share anything in person with us, we can take it on.
Yeah. But before we do that, I do have a few questions that I said in the beginning that I didn't get the chance to ask, and I would not like to leave this call with that FOMO. So if you would, Mayuri, actually, Dhwani asked the question that I wanted to ask. Why do you pick Vedica over traditional MBA?
Uh, I didn't pick Vedica. Okay. I interviewed for it. I got the admit, and I thought that waiting to really give, CAT and ISB or GMAT would take me a longer time. I thought so. It's not that I had a platter of choices to really pick from. I had Vedic in hand. I had a job in hand to choose from. So I decided that I wanted to quit my job. It was a very comfortable job, and I still thought that this is not going to help me long term. And I decided to join Vedica. For those who have like multiple offers, and if you want to discuss with me for a neutral point of view, though you are also welcome to connect with me one on one. But the fact is that I've seen a lot of programs, I've seen a lot of promises, which a lot of programming, and I can tell you that Vedika would have been a better decision for me, even if I had, admits from other colleges. So I would, in hindsight, it seems like the best decision which I had taken at that point of time.
Do you also feel lucky that you didn't have to do it in a pandemic year?
Absolutely. I mean, the whole additional charm which we had is because we were able to mingle together as women
Hmm.
who had the same dreams, who had the same challenges, and who wanted to make it, to a place where they are happy and comfortable, and uh, you know, feel good about ourselves. So I think this was a set of folks who come together, and that energy is very, very captivating when be in this environment. So uh, because we are almost done with pandemic, and hopefully there is no more
Yeah.
of it, I suggest that this year's batch is going to have a ball of time. I hope to see all of you. I would recommend. I have recommended it to a lot of folks in the previous batches. You can check with them if my recommendation was wrong. I don't think anybody repented my recommendation. So yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear. And we're also looking forward to a very lustrous 2022-2023 batch because from what we've been also seeing, pandemic is dying down. People are feeling safer and there's fingers crossed on that front. But trying to add on more to the traditional MBAs over Vedica, now that you've been working for 5 years after doing your management from Vedica, how does it feel? How do you think you fare, or what do you see is the difference between someone who's done it from a traditional MBA and what do you think you bring to the table that is more?
I think that's what I feel, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the traditional MBAs, when you do them, all the participants from that program bring the same thing to the table, the same skill set. Whereas Vedica, every Vedica scholar will bring a different thing to the table, and I think that is what makes a lot of difference. That makes every Vedica scholar different. That enhances our own skill sets, which we are good at. That enhances our way of thinking, and that creates a very big platform for everybody to be themselves. And this is what I think is the difference between me and traditional MBAs. uh, I am, and you might feel that, maybe there is a lot of improvement required in the way I communicate, but I have come a long way through because of Vedika, and I am better than a lot of my peers at communicating some very difficult technical things in languages which are easily understandable. And that has happened because of Vedika, because of this multidisciplinary courses which we have. I am also somebody who's very good at taking feedbacks, and I'm also someone who's very receptive, I feel, as compared to other batchmates who are coming from different management programs. This is something which I learned at Vedika. Sometimes, the hard way, sometimes the easy way, sometimes in the playful way, but all these things I learned at Vedika.
Yeah, I relate very highly to your experience because I've been here for a year at Vedica and I keep thinking about how I was an engineer at some point. I was an electronics engineer and I realized, say, I had liberal arts and personal growth and communications happening side by side. At some point, I would also be able to do conflict resolution in an academic setting, which I guess I would have required much more, and I would have probably been a more communicative engineer than someone who's just constantly trying to grasp concepts and in the end never
Yes.
learning how to apply them. And if I do happen to apply them, I am not able to communicate it to them, to my peers or my professors, and it just there's this constant level every time hitting a ceiling and then just coming down, hitting a ceiling, coming down. I guess
Yeah.
our
And so
foundations. Yeah.
as I relate to you completely, because the traditional education systems are so unidimensional.
Yeah.
that they never think that something like this is also required, because it's great to code, it's great to solve maths problems, but somebody has to talk about how they solve it and what is the right thing to do. Everybody
How
will
you,
not understand.
yeah, exactly. And something we also hear from our recruiters is that they continuously talk about requiring people who can don multiple hats. And I guess we try to fulfill that basic need, even try to generate that from our scholars from their inner self, that it's not a bad thing to kind of be a jack of all trades and really take the real phrase of the jack of all trades, which is jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of one. Because if you're master of one, there's going to be so many different situations that you will definitely fail at. And that really has resonated with us over the years. And we are able to provide our recruiters with scholars who can don multiple hats. So that also I think is great. And Mayuri is a great example of the same. And this might be a little bit of a very this thing, but I was very this I was just curious about what you put on LinkedIn as spam something ninja, and maybe
Yeah.
you can just give us a bit more about what that means.
Yeah, so I am my role or my job expects me to fight abuse on Google products. Uh,
Okay.
every day we strive hard to make sure that product experience is safe for you. Given the popularity and the general mass usage of Google products, it's but obvious that certain small number of bad actors want to,
Hmm.
influence the products, make money, deceive people, and these are the kind of things which come factored into when you have products which are very well adopted and used by large set of countries and people. So we on a daily basis try to make sure that we fight spam. And I wrote ninja because I was able to do it for some time, and hopefully I'm able to create some tiny bit of dent in some areas. So yeah, if that's relatable to
Yeah, no, that
anybody.
was a very fun name, and I guess it speaks for itself. Um, yeah, I think that's last of the volley of my questions. I just wanted to very badly to know what spam fighting ninja means. We have one more question here. Does the program have generalized curriculum or is there specialization available? So the program is a generalized curriculum, which is exactly our ethos as well, that specialization is just going to limit your opportunities constantly. And coming back to the phrase, jack of all trades, master of one, but better than a master of none. I don't think there is any value in doing specialization, especially for someone who's trying to constantly change streams and do something new in nature. We really, uh, we really communicate that generalized curriculum is much better and try to keep it that way. I hope that answers your question. Any other question, guys? Maybe last 10 minutes we have, or we can wrap this up early depending on that. Ananya, do you have any questions? Maybe do you have
No,
any questions? Do you want to know?
I just wanted to add that, of course, like Kunal shared that it's a very generalized approach at doing the course, and the core of it remains management supported by the three parallel tracks running. And I think what is very important for all of us to understand is, like Mayuri shared through today's fantastic, webinar, that how it skilled her not only in terms of management but also really helped her develop various other skills which in any not only corporate NGO or not only these bifurcations, but in her own personal journey in life and profession. So how I think looking at Vedica, in I would look at it as a specialization that you stand out, you become the specialization. So I feel in that sense, yeah, Vedica is a specialization, and I just want to request all of us to quickly look at our chat box. And maybe Kunal can repost and reshare our link. Yeah. We have the registrations open as of now for the last batch. For the current round, for this batch which is going to come in. So I request all of us to register. We would at least like to get a chance to speak with all of you and really understand from you that, what are your aspirations, what are your dreams. So Kunal's posted it in the chat box. Please do register and you will hear back from us. Yeah. So Kunal, if that's okay, and Are we okay? Do we have any more questions? Is it okay for us to conclude the session today?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great, Mayuri. Thank you so much. It was so wonderful to see you, and like I think I could see that Kunal was really enjoying the conversation. And I think for me, I would say that I really feel proud to look at the kind of journey Mayuri has made, and so wonderful to hear it from her backwards, like where she began and then where she is today. So thanks so much for making time, Mayuri. Please take good care, and to all our participants, thank you very much for joining. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Kunal.
you, Ananya.
Thank you,
Kunal.
Mayuri. Thank you, Ananya.
Thank you.